My name is Roland Sands. I'm a motorcycle builder first and foremost, ex-motorcycle racer, and have a brand called RSD, which is Roland Sands Design. We build motorcycles, design motorcycle parts, and apparel. Started racing in '92, turned pro in like '94, and raced 250 Grand Prix bikes here in the United States. Raced over in Europe, England in the British Super Cup Series. Also did the Spanish Open Ducato Series and had a pretty fun career. A lot of injuries, but also a lot of really fun rides and just a great way to spend my 20s and early 30s. When I quit racing, I was totally depressed. I was just like completely bummed out, you know, because I'd lost my identity at the time. I used to win and I get so amped. I was like, yeah, I won a national, it's insane. And I won this race and afterwards it didn't like do anything for me and I was like, what the f? What's going on with me? Like, you know, I really need to maybe stop and reassess what I'm doing. I kind of fell out of love with being a motorcycle racer. Yeah. At the time I built a bike called Whiskey Tango and it was really like my first custom bike I built. It turned out to be a really nice bike and it had my style. It looked like a race Harley, you know. My last race was at Laguna Seca. I finished second in the national at Laguna, and the bike was there and people like really dug on the bike. People were more stoked on my motorcycle than me finishing second in a national. It was a huge realization that that really meant something. I didn't think that it would take me to somewhere new. I didn't think it would help me create a brand. I didn't know it would give me a life beyond just being in the shop designing motorcycle parts. And that kind of just got me going. I was like, let's do something different. This seems like really a new way to do things. A new way, it's a way that I can be an artist. It's a way that I can do what I've always done, which is sketch and draw and paint, and then apply it to something that actually we can sell, so. When it comes to like transitioning from racing into design, it actually happened pretty seamlessly. I was working with my dad and I was designing all the product at his company, which was Performance Machine. I was the VP of design there, so I was learning already how to do 3D design work and how to transfer my ideas from sketches into 3D. When I retired in 2002, I was kind of ready to start designing right away. We built the place like 2.5 years ago and it's basically houses everything that we do all in one spot. You know, our apparel group's here, our hard parts group's here, we build bikes in the back. All the creative happens right here, and it happens with the team, so we have a really good team of people here. Whether it's a motorcycle build, apparel, or hard parts, it's like a collaborative effort. We just work together on everything. It's like we get a jacket in, and I try and put it on as many people as possible and ask everybody's opinion about what they think about it, because one person's gonna see something you don't see, you know? In the end, that diversity of opinion is what creates a good product. As far as inspiration goes, I really like to take things from different genres and put them together. I mean, I think it's like in music, if you look at music today, it's so fragmented and segmented, which I think is really cool because it brings new sounds, you know, that you've never heard before together, and that always creates something unique and new. So I try and do the same with our bike builds, even with our apparel, motorcycle parts and everything. We've always built a real wide range of things, so I think if you look at the bike builds that we've done, it's like Harley, GSX-R 1000, KTM, Harley, Sportster, Softail, maybe a bagger, then it's like a cafe racer, and then it's like a flat tracker, and it really is pretty random. If you look in our shop right now, you can see the different projects going on. It's pretty crazy, and I think that's pretty consistent for us. From the beginning, taking like my racing heritage and try to put that into my designs, it might not always be a part designed for a race motorcycle, but I kind of try and come from that direction, and it gives a certain aesthetic, which I think is pretty unique to us. The S1000 is a straight up drag bike. A big part of this bike, because the engine is predominantly stock, there's not a lot going on with the motor because the BMWs make like 200 horsepower already, so the thing is really fast. A big part of it is setting the bike up so it's properly set up to drag race. And it still needs to be streetable, so we didn't completely ground the thing, but it's real low. We took 1.5 inches out of the front. We put a lot of really cool parts that were specific to drag racing on this thing. It's got a 6-inch over swing arm. It's got carbon fiber BST wheels on it. Rizoma gave us a bunch of products for it. All the like gas caps and little oil caps and all these cool things. We put a Brox Performance Schwartz exhaust on it, and a bunch of parts from Brock's. Brock's helped us out with a bunch of stuff. Olin's rear shock that's set up specifically for drag racing. Dyno Jet tuner, auto tuner, so we're gonna send the thing overseas, so it's great because that thing will retune it for us. Driven USA got us some clip-ons. It's got a DID chain on it, guiles, brake levers, and rear sets. Hot Bodies gave us a great undertail section for it that cleaned up the back of the bike. It's got a ton of carbon fiber from BMW Motorrad on it and a bunch of cool BMW parts. And the paint, which came out amazing, is from Chris Wood at Airtrix and is actually like the original Lamborghini Reventon color. We tried to get as close as we could to that. I think the paint's pretty incredible. The color is like exactly what I tried to get at. And we did kind of the gloss panels with the little striping in it, turned silver leaf. So we want to bring a little bit of that classic BMW flavor into the bike as well with the turn leaf, the red pin striping and the black pin striping. It's kind of segmented. And if you look at like classic BMWs, it's kind of similar to that. I'm just psyched to go and ride the thing now and see how it works. I rode it down the street just now and it was just like spinning the tire, you know. I mean, I didn't get the tire hot or anything, but it was just like wah, sideways down the street. So it was like, okay, I want to get this thing in the drag strip and see what it can do. It's a monster. I mean, to get a bike that's going to go that quickly in a relatively stock state of tune, that means you can just go and ride it all day long. You can just go rip it all day long at the racetrack. And the BMW is such a well-built bike that you're just never going to have any issues with it, you know? You just go hammer it. You go to the drag strip and go launch the thing 100 times. You might have to replace a clutch, but everything else is going to be spot on. It'll be fun to just go see if I can go out and go fast on the thing, you know? So we brought the BMW out here for today, and it was the first time we've ran it, first time it's been on the track. I think we put about 5 miles on it at the shop, and then it was right to the drag strip. So, I mean, it's a pretty exceptional motorcycle considering that it's stock. And we came out today, and within, I think, 7 passes, we did a 583, which is, I think, a pretty good pass at 124 mile an hour. And I know that's smoking for an 8th mile. That's pretty good. The cool thing was how consistent the runs were. Earlier on, the track was really good, and you know, the passes were all 5.8s, 5.89, 5.87, so we just kind of kept pulling it down. And the mile an hour was like 120, and I think we did one at 125 mile an hour, so I'm impressed. I mean, it's just like clockwork every time, just boom, boom, boom. So the next step for us with this thing, which is crazy, is we're gonna put a turbo on it. Right now it's probably making a little bit more than 200 horsepower with the stock engine and the fuel management system that's on it. And we're looking to make, I think, well over 300 horsepower with the turbo kit that we want to do. Our next step is to probably go out to Mojave Mile and run on the airstrip out there. And hopefully that's going to get us to well over 220 mile an hour and around 300 horsepower. So I'm looking forward to that. I want to scare myself.